Quite simply, Officer Benner was a hero on earth, and now he's an angel in heaven.
You will be remembered for your courage, strength, and heroism. Step forward now, officer. You've borne your burdens well.
A final dispatch today for an officer who gave his life for his community.
PD to Officer Greg Nigel Benner. Call sign 163. Law enforcement officer for 4 years. Please answer. PD to Officer Greg Nigel Benner. Call sign 163. This is your final dispatch.
An emotional farewell. Hundreds of people piled into the Santa Ana Star Center in Rio Rancho this morning for Rio Rancho Police Officer Greg Nigel Benner's memorial service. News 13's Gabrielle Burkhart was there. She is live in Rio Rancho with more. Gabrielle.
Kim, there was just a massive outpouring of support here this morning for Officer Benner's funeral services. This morning, Rio Rancho's police chief addressed the fallen officer's family.
Know that although your father is gone, you have inherited an entire family, our police family. We will never, never forget.
That message resonated today through a crowd of law enforcement at the memorial from all over the United States. A massive group of officers, military, friends, family, neighbors, people from all around the community came to pay tribute to Officer Benner. The 49-year-old was shot and killed during a traffic stop on Memorial Day. Benner left behind a big family, including 7 grandkids and 2 more on the way. He served 22 years in the U.S. Air Force before starting his career with Rio Rancho PD 4 years ago. Messages from the governor and those close to Benner were shared.
My deepest condolences and that of my family and of the entire state of New Mexico.
I will miss you, Greg, dearly. I love you. I will see you someday and we'll ride again. Godspeed.
One woman thanked the community for their support on behalf of the Benner family. Now, of the people that attended, we found one man who Officer Benner helped on a call. Hear from him coming up at 5:30. Back to you. Okay, thanks, Gabrielle. There was a massive line of family and fellow officers who followed close behind as Officer Benner, his flag-draped casket, left the Santa Ana Star Center for his final dispatch. Hundreds of citizens lined the route as that procession made its way through the city Officer Benner died protecting. News 13's Candace Hopkins was there along that route as the community showed their support.
Kim, since Officer Benner was shot, the community has poured out that support, and they were there today. And as the procession made that final way toward the final dispatch, they were there to say thank you.
Well, we just thought it was important to come out and show our support as a community, and it seems like such a small sacrifice that we're doing out here for what the officers do every day and put their lives on the line.
The crowds lined the entire way of the procession as they left the Santa Ana Center down Unser and across Northern to the police station. People were there to pay their final respects to the fallen officer. Most waved flags, others held handmade signs with heartfelt messages like "We will never forget" and "Rio Rancho Police Strong." Some turning out to show their support for a community Benner helped protect, others to remember a friend.
Because Officer Benner was a family friend. And it feels really sad because he was such a nice guy, and I feel like we need to support him as a community.
And for even those who never knew Officer Benner personally, it was still a very emotional day in a community that's still raw from grief. Back to you, Kim.
Okay, thanks, Candace. And law enforcement officers from around the country were there today, but many are also helping honor Officer Benner on the Officer Down Memorial page. Many of them leaving comments, including, "We are proud to render Officer Greg Nigel Benner a very courageous soldier of the law. Also, rest in peace, brother, a job well done. And God's peace and speed, Officer Benner. Thank you for your brave, dedicated service. Rest in peace, my brother in blue." Be sure to stay with News 13 on air and online as we continue to honor Officer Benner. Our coverage continues in our next half hour and in our later newscasts.